is the On Call Podcast, your home for sports, news, pop culture, tech, and the obscure. And of course, your host, Michael Meyer.
And it all starts now. Welcome to the MVZ Podcast. Live from the garage. Cave. Lighting not quite on fleek still these days. Had to retape my LED lights to the wall. Gorilla two-sided tape that I can't peel one of the sides off. So I actually have to roll it like regular old duct tape. So it's not a whole lot of benefit there. But the NFL's back.
Ish.
I'm so stoked for Saturday to watch the Steelers. I know, like, I'm going to watch the first play and be like, yep, this isn't it. This is the most excited for preseason I've been because it's the first year in forever that I've not known who my quarterback is going to be week one. It's going to be Mitch. I'm feeling more and more confident it's going to be Mitch.
I mean,
but
is it? Because all week there hasn't been a clear-cut winner. One day it was Mitch lighting it up, then Pickett yesterday, day before yesterday.
Pickett's had the best week this week overall.
And yesterday it was not Duck Hodges. Got his ass beat by his own helmet.
Rudolph.
Yeah, Rudolph. You know what? He can't start. If you get hit by your own helmet from another player, like, you get no respect. Like, you're.
No, the thing is,
And you know what you got with him.
We've done that.
Yeah.
That's my thing, is we had a season where he started, and it was awful. So, like, it's not going to work. So, at that point, if you don't think Pickett's ready, you start Trubisky. At least they're very similar in size and, like, athleticism and all that, so you can try out the offense of Matt Canada this year. It's only the second year of Matt Canada's offense. Just try it, because you didn't get to see it with Ben. Ben's not doing a whole lot of play-action bootlegs.
Yeah, you only got to see a portion of it.
Yeah, so to me, I'm like, at least test that, because worst-case scenario, you don't think Pickett's ready. You want to start him next year. And you had Rudolph start this year, and it's like, okay, so now we still don't know if this offense is good, and then maybe Pickett looks okay, but the offense looks crappy or choppy. And you waste 2 years of Pickett instead of just one.
It's true.
Obviously, I hope Pickett just
You just want to watch the rookie?
job.
You want to watch the rookie game?
No, I want him to win because
You want him to earn it, but you want him to win it.
yeah, because he's the one who hasn't had any NFL experience yet. So if anyone in that locker room right now is going to be an elite Hall of Fame level quarterback, it's him.
What if scheme means more than you think, and the reason Mitch...
No, if Mitch is awesome, cool. I win either way. Don't get me wrong. I would love for Trubisky to be a Hall of Famer. I'm just saying in my head, it's more likely that Pickett is the elite of the elite than Trubisky at this point. And if that's the case, he better win early, because if he's the elite, he probably isn't going to not play for a year. You know what I mean? Like, if he's a super awesome talent.
That's fair.
And a lot of times people want to point to, well, Aaron Rodgers sat,
Everyone likes to throw the
Patrick
exception.
Mahomes sat. I'm like, okay, yes, but Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre. A little different.
Sat behind a Hall of Famer, right?
And Patrick Mahomes was a little raw coming out of college, I said, but then also he sat behind Alex Smith and a team that went 14-2. It wasn't like...
Who Alex Smith was in MVP discussions. He threw for over 4,000 yards and had over 30 touchdowns.
He wasn't the game breaker that like Mahomes is, but they were a good team.
Just because, and you don't know, just because Mahomes lit it up in practice didn't mean that would translate to being the guy.
Right. Well, I mean, he obviously did enough to where they felt good to trade Alex Smith before the next season.
Yeah, but you don't know that going into it.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, to me, that's the difference. Is like they already had an incumbent. They already had a guy who knew the system, was winning games. It's different when you're drafted last, to where, like, because that's what people keep pointing to. They're like, oh, there's only been 3 quarterbacks that were taken after the 16th pick or whatever who started week 1. It was like Russell Wilson, Dak Prescott, and someone else. And I'm like, okay, but most of these teams that are picking in the latter half aren't bad teams that already have a quarterback.
Right.
That's the difference. It's not like Pittsburgh.
The amount of times it happens is so much lower.
Yeah, to where like Pittsburgh, like if you're taking a quarterback first overall, it's probably because you don't have one, and you're like he's starting right away. To where like the Steelers, we don't have any. Like Trubisky's not the only guy who's had reps with our team is Rudolph, and he's not it. So, I mean that's the biggest difference in this scenario is he's fighting with another guy who also hasn't played for this team. It'd be different if we drafted him last year and Ben was still here. Even though Ben's not good, it's like it's easy to be like, sit behind the Hall of Famer. Like, even though he's not good anymore, like, we're not going to bench him for you necessarily unless we, like, have to.
You really think that Ben would have been a decent human to his incumbent?
Oh, I have no idea. Probably not.
Could have ruined him.
He was nice, Rudolph. That tells you anything.
Because he sucked.
He did not feel threatened by him.
That's a big difference then.
Yeah. And Ben might if he literally thought. Like if Ben thought, this is my last year, then I think he would.
If he believed in his own.
If he believed this is it. To where he was forced out. Ben wanted to be the quarterback this season. And the Steelers said no. He's openly said that on Pittsburgh radio now. He said, me and the company goes, yeah, Mike Tomlin didn't really want me, and Kevin Colbert definitely didn't want me.
Why is Mac Jones even dressed on the sidelines? He didn't play.
I don't know.
You just want to feel.
I guess it's just what you do.
Oh, that's a beautiful throw. I think that was on the wideout. I think it was a bad read. Speaking of your Steelers, a lot of Twitter talk of a trade
Between our teams.
And I don't. So Roquan holding out. Holding in. Sorry. 2022. Woke culture. Hold in, not hold out.
Well, there's a difference in holding in and holding out.
Yeah, $50,000 fine.
Well, the hold out, you're not there.
Right.
The hold in, you're standing off.
Because when he's there, they can't fine him. And well, at least before, I think if the rule changes the week of a game,
they can fine him now.
They can fine him now because they removed him from the PUP list. But I think when he's there before, for whatever reason, they were doing it to preserve and not fine him when he was there. But like, he openly requested a trade, sent a note through Ian Rappaport. I don't even know whose side I'm on this. I don't think it's not right or wrong. I understand he wants a contract. I also understand every business is cutthroat when it comes time for negotiations.
My hardest part is I usually side with the team when it's not your first contract. I have a harder time where like he's playing on his 5th year option. Football is such a brutal game. What if he gets Shazier'd this season? Like I think the Shazier thing really scared a lot of people. Like that's what Deontay said with his hold in, which by the way his negotiation lasted all of like 2 hours.
So you're on the player's side to negotiate the second one for a contract that he's already signed and agreed to, made by the NFLPA. So his association that speaks on his behalf chose to have a 5th year option for first round picks.
No, I get it. I just think it's hard.
It is hard.
They just need to do what baseball does.
The service time?
The independent arbitrator. The arbitration for like your 5th year option. It kind of
seems like the arbitrators always side with the teams anyway.
Somewhat. Like they didn't with Judge. I mean, they did and they didn't. They agreed on like $22 million, which is less than what Judge is worth in baseball money.
But it's a lot for arbitration.
But it's a lot more than like he would have made otherwise. Like, you know, if he was on his rookie deal, he'd made like $500,000. Yeah, but it would have been like $500,000 and instead he made $22 million. So like there's wiggle room. Like with him, if instead of his 5th year option being $8 million, which it probably is, they could tell him you have to pay him $13 million this year. The only reason I say it's 8 is because I know Devin Bush, his 5th year option's $8 million, and it's around the same time And Devin Bush was a high pick. But the biggest position they need to fix above all others, though.
So it's $10 million. He's making $9.735 million this year.
Yeah. I do get the fear of like you're on the last year of your deal, like if you break yourself, you're
your
out.
deal that you signed.
No, I get that, but you don't have a choice. They said when you get drafted, you're signing with the Bears for whatever they'll give you. That's the hard part. It's one thing if you can go out of college and sign with whoever for whatever.
So, but you're talking. So he's forced to sign with the Bears, but then you can't use that pity patty card and say, "Well, I didn't talk to the owner and they could fix this because I want to be a Bear for life." You can't play.
No, I agree with that. I was just talking about fixing the contract thing as a whole because it is hard in sports when you get drafted by a team and like you're signing like for you and me, if you sign a nursing contract, they don't tell you have to work for them or you're not a nurse. You know what I mean? Like that's a big thing. And then they're basically like, yeah, cool. They get you for 5 years and you can only make up to this. I mean, the reason they did it was because Jamarcus Russell broke everything because he got paid like a superstar, and then was terrible and broke the Raiders for a decade. So that's why they fixed it. But they need to fix it for like rookie running backs. Running backs get screwed.
They should be a whole separate thing. Just like there should be a quarterback salary cap, and there should be like a running back.
The problem is because you get 5 years. If you do your 5th year option, you're running back. You're 22. We'll say 21 or 22, right? When you get out.
Are there running backs taken in the first round really anymore?
Brees Hall?
When was he taken? 26.
20 something. I mean, it happens. Yeah. I mean, last year you had Etienne and Najee.
Yeah, that's
regardless,
true.
so you get the 5th year round option for these guys, right? Like the part that sucks is like, so you're on your 5th year option, you get drafted at 21 or 22. Now you're 26 or 27. You tag them. Now they're 27 or 28. You do the second tag where you pay them a bunch of money. Now they're 28 or 29. You go, peace. I don't want a 28 or 29 yard running back for a contract for more than like a season or two. That's what sucks. So they end up making good money. They end up making what they're worth for like one season. I think the Panthers.
So, like, when you talk about that money, when was he taken? His 24th overall, Najee Harris.
Okay.
Signing bonus, $7 million.
Yeah, which is dispersed over his length of his contract.
His money guaranteed at signing that he's at least going to get
as far as the cap
in
hit.
4 years is $13 million. Total guarantees is $13 million.
Okay.
So every penny of his contract is guaranteed. Who can't survive on $13 million?
No, I get you. I get that argument, obviously, too. But I'm just saying the part that's unfortunate for running backs is, like I said, you can do their 5th year option, tag them twice, and then they're 28, 29 years old, and you just basically say, good luck finding a contract at that age that's worth anything.
It's going to be worth more than he'll get anywhere else on the planet.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying that is it's just a way.
And if you're talking about franchise tagging,
they have
you're
no
getting
problem
the
doing
best.
it for QBs. But I'm saying
if a running back could be Tom Brady for 20 fucking years, they would make that money.
Right, but I was saying like the other positions make the money. I'm saying it sucks for running backs because like Le'Veon is a perfect example. Pittsburgh.
He's a reason that it's the way it is now. Recycle them. They're done because you ruined it. Your contract was so bad, we fired the GM who signed you.
The part that sucks for him though is like he got the 5th year option. Pittsburgh tagged him. He made $12 million that year. They tagged him again. He made 16, which is a lot of money. And then he was like 28 to 29. It's like at that point, like you have nothing left at that position. So you never get the chance to get the big contract.
I don't think that he didn't have anything left. He went to a scheme that was completely different. I bet he would have succeeded in Pittsburgh with the contract if they would have signed him.
Maybe. Which Pittsburgh tried to, and he didn't want it. He wanted to make a lot of money.
He messed up. Now, the biggest issue, I think, with this deal, and I'm really conflicted, Roquan wants to be the highest paid linebacker in the league. Naturally, the most recent signing is always the biggest signing.
Yep.
The problem is the actual best at the position just signed his contract. Darius Leonard. He's the best weak side linebacker in the NFL. He just signed his. You're not going to get paid more than Darius Leonard. You're not better than him. He just signed his.
I know that one of Roquan's biggest gripes was the way his contract was structured. Super backloaded, so they could cut him, and like if he's not good anymore, they can basically cut him and get off a lot of that money. And then in ways that his contract is structured that only quarterbacks' contracts are structured that way, and he was like, I'm not want to do that. So I think there's give and take to both teams. I think that the Bears are like, we'll give you $17 million, but you're gonna have to earn it throughout the contract. Basically, like you better still be good year 5. Or we'll cut our losses.
I think a lot of conversations happened because he doesn't have an agent. Mm-hmm. He had to hear things that a player shouldn't have to hear because the team's job is to save money.
Yep.
And his job is to want money. That's why his
feelings are hurt.
Right. And then, it's like we can't go here and suck your dick and tell you things that you want to hear while trying to save money. So like.
So they probably were telling him like he probably was like, I want to be the highest paid, and they were probably like, fine, we'll pay you $17 million a year, but we're gonna backload it. We're gonna make it to where if you're not good in 5 years, we can get off your contract and pay you $4 million, and you can go bye.
Right.
Like we're not gonna pay you $17 million for you to suck. We're not gonna go fully guaranteed on this. Like we're gonna backload it heavily, and you're gonna have to be worth it at the end. And he's like, well, I don't want to do that. That's uncool. And then we'll pay you less. That's my analysis of how the situation's going. Is the Bears are willing to pay him a bunch of money.
That's business.
But backloading it to basically being like, be worth it at the end of the contract. You're gonna make all that.
Yeah, if we're gonna pay you $100 million, you have to be worth it through the duration of the contract.
And that's where baseball that's where if you go to no salary cap like baseball, you can't do that. Players just have the power. Someone's gonna give them fully guaranteed. That's why quarterbacks are kind of broken right now. Yeah, Deshaun Watson just got $230 million fully guaranteed.
Boy, it sounds like he ain't playing this year either.
But I guess I think that position's broken at this point. I don't know what you do.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to make a separate pool or something. I don't.
Like you have to do what the NBA does. You have to do where
Supermaxes.
Just for quarterbacks, where like it's like you could pay your quarterback basically whatever if you are the team that drafted him or traded for him. Before his contract, but then other than that, like it's 30 million max or something, or 40 million max is what, to where like if you leave teams, 40 million is the most they can give you. Your team that drafted you could give you
50 or 45.
50, but it only counts as 40 on the cap. That's the only thing they could do because it's just getting more and more ridiculous. It's getting to the point where like, is Pittsburgh going to be a Super Bowl contender in 2 years because everyone's paying their quarterback $50 million and we're just not? And we keep doing these short 2-year deals on like defensive players. Like we got Miles Jack on a 2-year deal. Like you could build an awesome team around an okay quarterback, like Trubisky. Yeah, I don't think he's bad.
The thing is, a good offense beats a good defense.
Right, but if you have an elite defense and an elite offensive line and an okay QB, you could beat good teams.
When's the last time an elite defense beat
Denver? With Peyton? That wasn't that long ago.
8 years ago. 7?
Not that long ago. I'm saying that's not like in the scheme of things, not that long ago.
6 years.
Yeah, like 6 years ago isn't that long ago.
In NFL terms, it is. You just said a running back's only going to make it through one contract.
Right. I mean, in a player's life, but in the life of the NFL, because right before then you had the Seahawks winning. For a while, everyone was talking about how the only way you're going to win is if you have a quarterback on their rookie deal. That was a big talk for a long time.
And the Rams are the reason for that talk. They can do all this and this, and then they paid all that money to Goff, and then they just dumped him and took on a superstar heading down the huge contract.
And they won.
And Tom Brady, he won.
Tom Brady won some
mega deal.
And that's the thing. So like that clearly didn't hold up.
I just think that there's not the
Chiefs are still good. There's not a system like that. But I'm saying like if it gets to a point where the quarterback contracts get too outrageous,
we're working our way there.
The issue becomes the part that's really interesting is like in 4 years, Patrick Mahomes is going to be a steal. They're going to get him for $45 million a year. That's what they're paying him over the life of his contract.
Next year, Rodgers is like 52.
Well, I'm saying in 4 years from now, Mahomes is going to be the 12th highest paid quarterback in football. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and he's going to be the best. So that's the thing is, that's where I thought it was smart what the Chiefs did.
I think he also got locked in with some Kansas City Royals ownership shit.
I don't know. But I think it was super smart of the Chiefs to go 10 years.
Yeah, lock him in.
We're doing it. And we're not doing this again. Because one, they never have to do the Aaron Rodgers mumbo jumbo.
And another
Where they have to sit there and bicker.
And do we know?
for years.
And we draft a quarterback, and it's going to create more rifts and talk about trading.
You know, they don't have to do with that. And then also, like I said, they locked him in for that price. And he's the safest person ever to do that too. He's already won a Super Bowl. Like,
does he have an MVP already? Did he win MVP?
He had to have. The year he threw 50 touchdowns, he had to have.
I hope so.
But anyway,
he's earned it. So
he's so good that he's like kind of the exception. It's kind of hard to say. It's like Mike Trout. Okay, or like Shohei, or they pay Shohei here shortly, wherever he gets paid. You can't lose on a guy like that. That's the difference.
That's a generational talent.
The thing about Shohei is like, okay, so he's only a hitter, he's still an all-star. Oh, he's only a pitcher now, he's still like, it doesn't matter if he can't do one eventually. He can still do the other.
I was just watching highlights on Shohei. They're showing how he hit the ball through the stadium roof. It was on Twitter, and everyone's retweeting it. So I saw the same video like 15 times.
Not to get off topic, but did you see the viral Juan Soto thing that happened?
Happened? No, I saw how much they've sucked since the Padres got him.
He was on base, and the catcher said, "What's your plan against this pitcher or whatever?" Soto hits it 460 feet in the stairs, and he turns around and he goes, "That was my plan." Just so cocky, but also like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, I'm not gonna fight you on that. Good job. Good plan.
That was a good plan, sir. Agreed. But
just how he wrote it up.
But the part I have a hard time with is because I know my cousin always talks about, like, with Kyler Murray, with their contract dispute, and he was like, you can't sign him. And I'm just kind of like, or what? Like, that's the hard part is, like, you get Kyler Murray, who he wants to get, he got paid, what, like the second or third most of quarterbacks?
His contract value?
He just got paid. Kyler did.
Yeah, it's I think he's fourth in average annual value.
Fourth. So the thing is, like, he might not be the fourth best quarterback, but he's top 10. And the other hard part is, it's like, the part that I get after is, like, everyone always was to point to the Joe Flacco contract, to the Carson Wentz and Jared Goff, the misses, right? The people who you kind of missed on those, they got paid a bunch.
I think they just rewarded Flacco.
Yeah, but like I said, I think a lot of times people are like, oh, you paid him so much money and they really weren't that great. Or Andy Dalton. Here's my thing. How much worse would those teams have been if they would have had Duck Hodges? Or, you know.
Andy Dalton's an unfair, because I don't think there's a whole lot of difference between Dalton and Dak.
No. And that's the thing. It's like, that's the thing.
A great team around a 15th best quarterback is a top 5 looking quarterback.
Right, and that's the thing about, like, Flacco, was he was bad. Like, that was a bad contract. But the hard part is, I'm like, they went 8-8 to 11-5 for, like, every year of his contract.
And he had almost a perfect playoff run.
They did the same thing with Stafford. People said he was overpaid when he was on the Lions, as they continued to get, like, 6-10 to, like, 8-8. But I'm like, yeah, without him, they're, like, 2-14. Like, the thing you realize is, like, you're saying they're stuck mediocre, but if they have a bad quarterback, they're bad.
Because there's not a true formula. Like, that's where you talk about a GM. Like, right? So they're 8-8. So they're picking 12th and 15th. So they don't get the generational tackle, but they don't need the generational quarterback because they have one. Spend more money in your scouting department and your general manager, and build your fucking team.
Well, I mean, look.
Steals are had throughout.
Look at the teams that have been good consistently. They all do it differently. Like, the Steelers have been good for a long time.
Pendulum.
And the Steelers have done it with, I mean, even before Ben, the Steelers are relevant with Neil O'Donnell and Cordell. Like, the Steelers have done it through.
Yeah, Cordell Stewart /
The Steelers went through it. We draft our players. We
Madden.
pay our players who are worth the money. That's what Pittsburgh's done. And then we just we don't do a lot of they haven't historically done a lot of free agency. They basically pay their good players and they draft correctly. Then you have players like a team like New England, who and the Steelers will go linebackers and defense.
You know what? Speaking
most
of the
important.
Patriots, what's weird? Tom Brady gave a hometown discount for 10 years. Mm-hmm. How did they not have a stacked fucking team?
They did, and here's the way they do it differently. So Pittsburgh they go defense and then like offensive superstars. Like we got, we try to get, like,
Who are the offensive superstars?
I was talking about the Steelers.
Oh yeah,
I said the Steelers. That's their strategies. We have an alpha receiver, a 3-down running back, and a good defense. Like that's the way we build our team. The Patriots spent their money on O-line, which you don't know those names, but they would pay them, and then they would pay a lockdown corner.
One veteran, yeah.
One lockdown corner who they didn't even draft. They wouldn't even mess with it. They just get a guy. They'd pay him.
That was a good 6-7 years, yeah. Like when they had.
They just kept renting them. They had McCourty, I remember.
Revis.
They had Revis. Who was the most recent one?
Aqib Talib.
Stephon Gilmore. Like
they drafted Gilmore. They had him for 4 years.
He was a Bill.
Oh, you're right.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, they're smart. But anyway, but they
took Lawyer Malloy from the Bills.
Is they didn't pay offense because
they drafted Lawyer Malloy. That was their big.
They didn't. But they signed Rodney Harrison, and then got rid of Malloy.
And got rid of Malloy.
Rodney. But so the thing, so like they do that, and then what they do that is kind of interesting is they didn't pay their weapons. They basically were like, we have Tom, and he can make any offense work. And what they do is they pay like 18 defensive players between $4 and $8 million. So they're just so deep. So that's what made them so much better is they have like 15 players who are B-level players on deep.
No huge glaring hole.
Yeah. So then if someone got hurt, they just plugged another one in, and they could rotate.
And a good system. I mean, that's where I talked about a good system.
And that's how they did it different. It's like to where like a lot of teams like Pittsburgh, like even now, we're kind of on defense. We're superstar heavy. We have Hayward, Minka, and Watt. One of those guys gets hurt, and like you're losing a chunk of your defense. To where like the Patriots, they lose an outside linebacker. They're like, we have two more who are a step below, but they're still good.
Speaking of the line that the Patriots keep having, not this year. They're going to be. I think Mac's going to be bad this year.
They weren't good for a couple years of them, but that's where their money went. Their money went for the line, and then they just, like I said. I looked at their contracts one time to see how they do it. It's just like their defense, like 15, 16 guys get between $4 and $8 million. They in their short contracts, they just signed free agents. That's what they kept doing. They would sign free agent defensive linemen who had 2 years left, and they'd sign them for 2 years, $8 million. Like, you want a ring? Like what the Bucks are doing now, with some defensive players, and they got Sue and stuff, where you're just like, you want a ring? The Patriots have been doing that for a long time. Like, you're a veteran, you're smart. We're going to give you 2 years, $8 million for the last 2 years of your deal. And
they have someone an anchor in that 3 technique with Vince Wilfork for just the unsung heroes that just stay there because they're there.
That's the thing I think that the Patriots do that's different. And then you have teams like the Packers have been good for a long time because they've had good quarterbacks. That's my only reasoning for why I think they're good, because I don't understand what they're doing. Like the Patriots, I get that system. The Steelers, I get that system. The Colts, who, were good for a long time with Peyton, they just paid their offense.
Are honestly the Jaguars with the Hall of Famer.
It makes no sense what they're doing. They're not paying receiver. Like they're not paying receivers. They're not paying. I think the Chiefs are being smart.
They're doing well.
I think trading Tyreek was really smart.
Yeah, because
once he loses his speed, and not he's always be fast. Once he loses I'm way, way, way faster than everyone else.
Once you lose Olympic qualifier speed,
will he still be as good? I don't know. And also, Mahomes is good enough. He's put up games without Tyreek Hill.
Plenty.
I saw a stat. Their winning percentage
is higher without him.
Is identical though? It's like 69.8 without him and like 69.5 with him. It's basically like he doesn't make a difference almost. And so what they should do is keep drafting. Like they shouldn't pay they're gonna pay Kelsey, and then don't pay because he's harder to find than a fast receiver. Honestly,
they should trade 2 first-round picks and get Kyle Pitts, and keep that because that system is Kyle Pitts perfect.
Yep.
Here's 2 first-rounders. Give us Kyle Pitts because Kelsey's 32 or 33 now.
How scary is Mahomes gonna be if they figure out a running back though?
What? They have a running back.
They have running
systems.
They have running backs. So
their system's not meant as a running system. It's a zone-wide scheme. So you just need speed and hands.
But if they get someone who actually can do it for a season, McKinnon did it for 3 games, but he's fragile.
Well, Andy Reid had LaShawn McCoy. Like he wants LaShawn McCoy's.
So he wants Darren Sproles. He wants Darren Sproles. He wants a 28-year-old Darren Sproles in Kansas City. Is Kamara locked up? He wants Kamara. Kamara's like
post his bill for him.
Kamara's a fit in heaven for that system.
So Kareem Hunt is perfect for that system. They let him go because of the previous
Christian McCaffrey.
a healthy CMC is.
He fits anywhere at that point. I mean, so does Kamara though. When you're that good, you fit anywhere.
Tariq Cohen would have been perfect.
Yeah, Tariq Cohen would be good.
Because they don't need a between the tackles runner.
No.
The Bears' new running back that drafted in the 6th round, Treston Ebner, would actually be great in that system because he's 5'11".
That's the scary thing though is that this Pacheco might be it.
Might be.
I mean, they literally just need a fast guy who can catch and pass block. And then
they need someone who's not an idiot. I think if they can get they
need someone who's not just bad.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like, because Clyde Edwards-Helaire has just been bad since they've had him. And that's been the problem. He's just been not good.
I think CEH's biggest issue, I think, was intelligence. They said that he kept missing the shotgun pickups on pass rusher. Like, if you can't do that, you're protecting a $50 million man.
Was that the second year last year, or was he a rookie?
Yeah,
that was his second year. This is year 3, right?
I think you're right.
It's got to be year 3. Because Najee was rookie last year, yeah, and he wasn't the same.
Man, CEH is not the most popular Google.
Or was it?
I think he was a rookie last year.
No, this got to be year 3.
Yep, it is. 2020, 2021, 2022.
So, like, I remember his first game as a rookie. I was like, oh, man. They did it. They found Kareem Hunt again. Speaking of Kareem Hunt, though, do you see he wants out of Cleveland?
Can you blame him? Can you blame him?
Cleveland said no. We've seen this before with Baker.
You know what's crazy? Like
3 months ago.
I have heard Kareem Hunt's name. It feels like forever. He's not old. He's still 27.
Yep.
He's still a kid.
He just had a very eventful 5 years.
Very eventful between teams, news.
Yep. The thing about the Browns, when you look at what are they doing as an organization? Like, Baker wanted out.
It's like they're destined to be a bad franchise.
But within a year and a half, though, Baker wants out because they made him.
They wanted Baker out.
They kind of publicly made him leave, but Baker wanted out. Odell Beckham has to leave, like forced his way out. Jarvis Landry forced his way out.
So I don't think they respected Landry.
No, I'm saying, like, so their top 2 receivers, their quarterback, and Kareem Hunt have all wanted to leave. Joe Hayden kind of forced his way out at the end. They're a bad organization.
Well, what's there to do in Cleveland?
It's not just that, though. What's there to do in Pittsburgh?
I don't know. Yeah, apparently they got really good food there.
People just like the Roonies, man. Like, to where, like, I don't think people like the Browns owner. Jimmy Haslam. Don't think he's liked.
Who's the general manager?
I can't keep up with them.
It's hard.
They spin through those and coaches like nobody's just. That's the problem with them. I think they've had too little.
No continuity.
They don't give people as good of a leash as they should at times. Like, they had so many head coaches for a while. It's like, pick somebody, let them start a system, and get players for said system.
Especially when the next person they bring in completely changes the system. Let's switch from a spread offense to a power. Let's go from a 4-3 to a 3-4.
And it's because I think that's what ownership thinks. I think ownership's like, okay, we had Eric Mangini, who respects, like, veteran, smart defensive players, and we're going to run the football. That didn't work. We're going to now go to a guy who wants to air it out.
We're getting young.
And it's like, no, you can't just redo that every year or two.
The beginning of that downfall, was that the Mangini era that had Manziel? Or was it the year after that? Manziel was awful draft pick. He was a third-round talent with a first-round price.
But speaking of teams that are bad, though, and also do that, you with the Manziel thing, you reminded me, is Nick Saban when he was the coach for the Dolphins.
Who did they do?
I guess he begged and was like, I need Drew Brees. I need Drew Brees. I need Drew Brees. Drew Brees is out there. He wants to play with us. I need him. And he was overruled. And they're like, no. With his shoulder, no. And he went to New Orleans instead. Nick Saban might not have went back to Alabama had he gotten Drew Brees.
Could have rewritten the Miami history.
Mm-hmm. I think it's like, and he said that. He in an interview, like after they talked about that, because that's your story, and he said, yeah, and that's why I'll never go to the NFL again. He said, right now, I have final say of what player I want, when I want them. He didn't have that there. He didn't have like the power that you know.
I was just listening to the Pivot podcast, and they were talking about that. And he said he won't go back without that GM.
Yeah, without the Belichick thing, and he's burnt because of the Drew Brees thing. Because apparently he even said, if it doesn't work, fire me. And they're like, we're not doing that.
They're like, they talked about how, is Saban as big an asshole as do you think he is? Like, no, he just wants control of everything. And if he doesn't control about it, he doesn't care about it. So people think he's an asshole because he doesn't care about stuff he's not in control of. So he seems so dismissive and an asshole. It's like, it's not. Everything works in Alabama because he controls every aspect of it. The only thing he doesn't care about is who are they bringing in, like, as how many recruits they can bring in and little stuff like that. And he's like, he was a great coach, great motivator, just an awesome person all around. And he just wants to control every aspect of it. And can you blame him? Because he's so good at it.
Yeah, I mean, he won there. He won at Michigan State. He won at LSU. He's just good.
And when you start having to do the NFL thing where you're controlling egos, that's where it might not be as great.
And a lot of people said that he wasn't as good, but like he only coached for like a season or two. And like I forget who the quarterback he had was, but it was so bad. And it's like, that's not a fair.
Did he have Brock Osweiler?
If you have a bad QB, like, unless your rest of your team's good, I think it doesn't matter. Let's see here. Nick Saban.
Hey Siri, when did Nick Saban coach the Dolphins?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia.
2004.
2004.
Position for the Miami Dolphins on December.
I'm looking at their
Hey
roster.
Siri, who was the Miami Dolphins quarterback in 2004?
AJ Feely.
These are the listed quarterbacks.
NJ Fiedler and Sage Rosenfels.
Yeah, that's not it, man.
That's not it.
What's 2005 looking
Duck
like?
Hodges. I'll tell you what, as far as backups go, they're showing these highlights here of the Ravens game. Huntley is a good backup.
Oh, he took it from 4-12, by the way, in 2004 to 9-7 the following season.
So probably second in the division for the AFC
They were
East.
second.
That was before the Bills were anything.
And they had Gus Farad at QB. 9-7 with Gus Farad. Ronnie Brown, the running back.
Oh, he had a good couple years though, man. He was an anchor. 04 and 05. Was Ricky Williams there? Was that when he was suspended?
I'm trying to see who the other running back was. Ronnie Brown.
Hey Siri, when was Ricky Williams on the Miami Dolphins?
The Dolphins took on the Patriots on January.
That's not it.
That's not at all what you asked for. Yeah, Ricky Williams.
That was when he was on suspension for the marijuana shit. I watched. That's
Oh, and
another.
then he went 6-10 in 2006. He was still the coach.
Mm-hmm.
Joey Harrington.
Jesus.
So he had no consistency.
He wasn't even a good Lions quarterback, and they had him. Ugh. To win 6 games with Joey Harrington, that's not bad.
And then fired.
I'm fired.
So 4-12, 9-7, 6-10. You're out of here.
Yeah, why
and
don't
he
you-
had 3 different quarterbacks.
And none of them.
He went AJ Feely, Gus Farad, Joey Harrington.
None
You're
of them were
fired.
even top 20 quarterbacks.
And that's why I don't that's why I said that sometimes you need to be good at knowing when your coach is good. Coach isn't the problem. Like, he went from 9-7 to 6-10. They just see it as you lost 3 more games this year than you did last year. irrelevant. Like, was our division better? Do we have a tougher schedule? Joey Harrington was a rookie also, by the way. So it was rookie Joey Harrington. And to me, that shows something. His best season was with Gus Frerotte, who was 34 at the time. So the veteran that he can actually coach up is his best year. I mean, that makes a difference. That's probably why he wanted Drew Brees real bad. He was like, give me a veteran that knows how to play football and will win games. Yeah, like I said, it'd have been interesting to see how different it would have been. I think he might still be the Miami Dolphins coach right now.
What else? I think. Oh, we didn't talk about it last. We might have. We had to brought it up. Way off topic. We talked about Brittany Griner going to jail for 9 years in Russia.
Oh yeah, I thought we were trading for her. I thought we were trading that gun stealer.
So. A massive arms deal. Like he had a good nickname and everything.
Like it was literally the point where it was like, man, I want the Russians guy as the GM for my favorite NBA team. Because NBA is where the GM's most important as far as trades go.
Quarterbacks. I sent you that one tweet. I haven't heard anything about it. That's got to be a Colin Kaepernick to the Browns for the 1 year deal.
That's not real.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
I just don't think it's real because that's the only thing. There was that tweet, and then it has a bajillion interactions, and then there's no
confirmations from like any true insider. Shit. Speaking of injuries,
I can't imagine they'll do that because it's like, so they have Watson, so they've lost all of the love from the Democratic Party for quarterbacks. Why would you go, you know what? We don't want Republican fans either. We want Kaepernick. We want everyone to hate us on all sides. If you can look past one, you're not looking past the other. We're getting...
Well, really, with the way the Trump raid just went down, they might like Kaepernick now. They're all anti-police. Defund the FBI.
No, he didn't have a reason to. Do you don't remember this with Kaepernick about he was saved by white people because he was adopted? He was adopted by 2 white parents, so he was saved. So the fact that he would say that police are racist is so incredibly awful because he was saved by the whites. So to blame the whites. Yeah, that was everywhere.
That's not even a correlation. Like, there's no correlation there.
No, the correlation is cops can't be racist because, like...
Cops can't be racist because a white person likes you.
You can't complain about white people if white people saved you. That's what basically they were saying. They're like, we should have just let them be raised by black people.
Cretins.
What? What? Like, but yeah, they're doing the upside down flag,
which I think is a violation of the UCMJ, the Uniform Code of Military Justice. I don't think you can hang a flag upside down without a
so
declared
much stuff
state
that
of
we do.
emergency.
It says you're not allowed to use the flag on like products for sale, like in beer advertisements and stuff. I have bought a lot of cans over my lifetime that had a big old flag on the side. We can just pick and choose where we're gonna enforce stuff.
But you can't put it like you can't show sign of not mayhem. It's
Anarchy?
It's a sign of a state of emergency.
Yeah, the half mast and stuff like that. But yeah, the upside down.
Well, yeah, half mast is for death and sadness. But yeah, and upside down is the sign of distress. You can't.
That's why I can't even get into politics. It's like just we're right, you're wrong, no matter what. Whatever side you're on, it's just obnoxious.
Injuries, man. I don't know if it's just because I'm paying more attention to the Bears than Pierce. Man.
With sports and with politics, we'll bridge them together. Why can't you just be like, why can't you just be like, I hope I'm wrong. Like, they didn't do the person I wanted isn't who we have. Let's say, like, I thought Pittsburgh was going to take Malik Willis. As soon as we got Kenny Pickett, I'm like, man, I hope he's awesome. Why can't we do it for politics? I wanted X quarterback or X guy to be the president. Man, I hope I'm wrong. And Y president's the best president we ever had. I was that way with Trump.
That'd be nice.
I didn't want Trump to win the first time. I guess the only time that he did win. Sorry. Officially won according to the government.
He won.
But
it was stolen.
So I didn't want him to win the first time. He won. I immediately was like, you know what? I hope he's awesome. I hope I'm wrong. I was a little feared. I hope he's the greatest ever. president because it's best for their country. But people aren't like that. People are too prideful.
And honestly, my issue is not with Donald Trump. Well, it is now because of the hysterics and the weird news media stuff that's happened. And, there's one American News, OAN.
Like if the Bears traded Justin Fields tomorrow, straight up for.
If they traded him for Aaron Rodgers, I would have to be an Aaron Rodgers.
They trade him and get a defensive player, and they sign Josh Rosen off the street. You hope Josh Rosen's amazing, and he was a forgotten gem, right? You're not like, no, I wanted Justin Fields, and so now I hope the Bears suck. Like, it's weird to me how it is in politics. Like, you want your country to be awful because
you want to be
in
right.
Charge. Yeah, you want to be right. Like,
I just don't like the cult of Trump more than anything.
Yeah.
There's a few Republican policies I agree with. I don't like the flags and the slogans and these weird.
What's weird? I've
people get
never
their
wanted
cars
to wear.
wrapped.
I've never wanted to wear a shirt or display anything for a politician before.
It's not like a sport
It's
team.
not a fandom. It's a public servant. I also don't. People. I work for the state too, and I'd be really freaked out if somebody had a Zachary Jameson shirt. Like, love it. You know how many kids that guy took? That's one of the best.
That's a great social worker.
No one gets their notes in time the other than that guy. He's the best. It's weird, man. I actually saw a joke one time where this guy wore an IRS shirt. It was talking about how much he loved the IRS, and it was weird.
It's a weird thing.
It was a joke.
Yeah.
He was joking, and he was basically like...
It would dumbfound me. I'd be like,
well,
what
and the guy he was talking to was, in the little bit, was like, what do you mean you don't like the IRS? I thought everyone hates the IRS. And the guy was like, who hates the IRS? You hate the IRS?
Point him out to me.
That was very much like...
Show me.
He's like, they do all kinds of taxes. They're amazing. Just...
Although, the IRS is one that probably needs to be dismantled a bit. They just extended 86,000 additional agents for audits. The problem with it is the people that they're auditing are fucking people that already broke. If you make less than $25,000 a year, you are 8 times more likely to be audited by the IRS.
Is that true?
Yeah.
That's wild. I didn't know that. I always thought that...
Because it's cheap. It's easy hunting to take a couple $100. They can't fight it. They can't afford to fight it and get a lawyer to...
That's wild. I always thought that I didn't make
don't
enough
go
for
for
them
rich
to bother
people.
me.
They don't go for rich people because rich people can afford good attorneys and tie it up in litigation and cost the IRS more money than they would have got in the violated taxes.
And then they just probably don't mess with my level of income just because it's low, but also at the same time not as easy. I theoretically could sue.
Yours is because, yours is hard to line because you already work for the state. So a lot of your stuff is accounted so well, it'd be hard for you to defraud. All of your
That's
budgets
true. I don't make any personal money either. I work for, even when I didn't work for the state, I work for a company, and that's all my income. It's one of those things where it's easy. They reported you made this much, you reported the exact same amount, we're done. To where a lot of people under 25,000 are probably yeah, I mowed lawns, I did roofing, and a lot of these he said, she said stuff, and then they're basically no, you're lying. You're not counting tips properly, stuff like that.
And there's probably a lot of it like mine where me and Savannah's mom both claimed her. Mm-hmm. So one of us is technically defrauding the government. It's not me. But because she filed taxes first, she got the tax exemption first, so she got the dependent money first. So when I did it, I show up as a fraud. So I had to get a CPA, had to submit everything twice, and then I had to send everything paper with all of the court agreement stuff. So it's August, and my taxes are still in limbo. It took until December last time she did it.
Because of COVID, I didn't get my 2019 taxes until this year.
That's crazy.
What?
Did you get a return to? You got money back?
Yeah.
Man, that'd be real, man.
I didn't get to this year. A big, it was a decent check. I don't remember how much it was, but
I
and honestly, I had forgotten about it by the time I got it because I had my 2020 and 2021 back already, and then I had 2019. Because 2019 was so janky, and then we had to mail in that year.
Oh,
Because
okay.
who Bethany worked for. And
Paper took a long time because they weren't in office.
Yeah, and so it was like a huge mess, and I didn't get it for like 2 years.
Speaking of fucked up shit, the media's favorite running back, Marshawn Lynch, got DUI. I didn't realize that until I thought it was like old stuff. He just got it.
Mm-hmm.
Damn it, man.
It makes me mad when rich people get DUIs.
Yeah, that's true.
like it just bothers me. Like you're poor. You went to like Joe's bar down the corner and you drove home.
And he
You got
had to be
DUI?
super fucked
Sure.
up because
But
he.
then you're Jim Irsay, owner of the Colts, and you're billions dollars. Do you know when he got pulled over? Jim Irsay, he had like $25,000 in cash in his car. When he got pulled over for
confiscated it, too.
your DUI, it's like you could pay me $100. I won't leave the car. I'll just be sitting outside in the bar playing on my phone for when you get out. Right? I mean, if you think about it, he could have found someone if he said, if he looked at you and said, I'll give you $500, which is nothing to him. Right? If he said, I'll give you $500, sit out here for 3 or 4 hours in your car, and then drive me home and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, he's a billionaire.
You just drive around the block in circles.
Oh, shit. The Browns announced Deshaun Watson's expected to start Friday's preseason game against the Jaguars.
I knew that.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
The Browns don't care. They straight up structured his contract
Yeah,
in
they
a way
made it
that
so
if he gets
if you miss
suspended
all
all
season,
year.
hey, man, it's cost you $1 million.
Yeah.
$229 still coming your way.
Yep.
That is. Oh.
And did you see that the independent arbitrator said that what he did was awful? In her report, she goes, what he did was horrible. She said, but there's no precedent for this. There's no rule in place, which is wild. It's wild that the NFL doesn't have a rule in place already, just being like, or any other egregious behavior. Just put that sentence in there.
Well, the other reason there's no precedence for it is because it had gone twice.
Like every school dress code will put on there, or anything else deemed inappropriate. Why can't you just do that in the NFL? Or
Well, because
anything
it's-
else deemed
because
by the
then-
independent arbitrator?
Because they make $10 billion a year. So, like, there's so much money in it that you can tie up anything with a good lawyer.
Yeah.
And you don't expect there to be a case of 24 women accusing the person of the same shit.
That's what I say. I feel like the NFL, you think, because they have good lawyers, obviously. A lot of ex-lawyers are refs.
Roger Goodell is a lawyer.
Yeah. But I say you think you could set something up there that basically said, or anything deemed inappropriate by an independent arbitrator. Don't even say Goodell has that, but if the independent arbitrator...
That's too vague. That's not descriptive enough
do
to
that all
set
the time in
precedents.
law.
What is that vague?
In like
There's
specific...
there's
in
like
specific
7
criminal,
different ways of murder charges.
Yeah, in criminal law, it's not that vague. In like
Civil
courts, it's a lot more vague. Like even what I do in family court, they can basically be like, or anything as deemed by so and so. Like, you know, because there's basically like you can't be specific. You can't be like, oh, well, you locked your kid in a cage and then peed on him and then set fire. You can't like. There's no chart, so you have to kind of take it, you know, one by one. And that's the same thing with they're a business. They don't have to stand up in criminal court. They can do whatever they want. At my job, my dress code says or anything as deemed inappropriate by the workplace. If I did what Deshaun did, I could get fired. Even though I didn't get any criminal charges. They could fire me just because they'd be like, you know what, we're not touching that. Because we deemed this not protocol, basically. Because the NFL, that's the part that I always kind of forget about. The NFL's a business. They don't have to deal with criminal court. They can have their own rules.
Yeah, it's a private entity.
So that's why they could be vague. And then just be like, it's not up to us. It's up to an independent arbitrator, basically.
Which is part.
But they're trying to go so politically, like, they're trying to go so legal. With it being a judge and everything and not like...
Well, that was because the NFLPA put that in the most recent agreement, that it's not fair that the commissioner can just be like, fuck you, because fuck you. Fuck you, fee.
Which is weird, because in every other business, yeah, you can. I guess that the NFL players a union, though. It's unionized, so it is a little different.
I mean, ask Starbucks, though. They have a union, too, and they just fired the union president in one of the branches, and everyone just walked out. Like, oh, this is weird. Looking at these quarterbacks playing, who drafted Matt Corral?
Matt Corral, the Panthers?
I thought it was the Panthers.
So they got, let's see, mediocrity over there. Darnold, Mayfield. This sucks if you're Matt Corral, though.
It sucks to be him.
A little bit. Because he's not an injury away anymore. Like, like if you're Malik Willis, Tannehill goes down, you're getting thrusted right in there, buddy. If Mitch Trubisky goes down, I think Pickett's right in there. If you're Desmond Ridder, Marcus Mariota gets hurt or sucks, you're in there, man. The hard part, Corral, that's what he had with Sam Darnold, and now it's like, well, Sam Darnold, if Baker or Sam Darnold, whoever wins the job, if one of them gets hurt, it's probably just the other one.
And Sam Darnold's getting paid so much money, they can't even get rid of him.
Right, so like I said, if one of them gets hurt, they're probably just playing the other one. You have to actually beat them out now. You can't just get... Because all the time people get thrown in because of an injury and then stay there.
Yeah, and he didn't light it up like... what's his name? Russell Wilson. Like, the Seahawks didn't have a choice but to play him. He killed Matt Flynn.
And that was the same thing with Dak. He just kept lighting it up in the preseason over and over and over, and they kind of had to. Which he also played because Romo was hurt.
Yeah, because he didn't.
He started week 1, but it was because Romo was already hurt, and he beat out the other guys basically.
Yeah, Romo. Poor back. He's got a cannon on him now.
Bad catch, man.
Yeah, why did he slide?
Like, that feels like when he could have turned upfield afterwards.
Yeah, that looks like when you're 8 years old and don't quite get ball.
It made the throw look worse than it was. I mean,
Hit him right here.
It was maybe a little underthrown to where he might have had to slow down or stop, but he didn't have to fall over. But you know what? I'd always rather you catch the ball than not catch the ball trying to do something else.
Yeah, at least they got wide receivers. My fucking Bears. 3 of their...
I saw a thing with
5 wide receivers are out.
I saw a thing with Roquan Smith with the possible trade destinations, and it was like 4 teams. I remember, and one of the teams was the Patriots, like in the top 5 destinations. And somebody commented and said, "Imagine Roquan Smith on a team that cares about their players." And I was like, "Why are the Patriots on that list? They do not care about." He wanted to trade Tom. Belichick wanted Tom to go.
Zero loyalty.
Like the 4-time Super Bowl champ. He wanted him out of there.
They cut their defensive MVPs just to sign him when they didn't work out. Like Van Noy. Yeah, he got rid of him twice.
Yeah.
Stephon Gilmore, subject of talks of getting cut for years.
Like Pittsburgh cares about their players. Shazier broke his body, and they paid him. They paid him the rest of his contract that wasn't guaranteed. They paid him all of it, which is cool. And maybe what you should do, but I bet a lot of teams don't do that.
No. Business. Billionaires didn't get to be billionaires by giving away millions.
That's why one of the Rooneys was a
Popper?
Oh my gosh, ambassador to Ireland.
Because he's so good. Such a good human being.
Mm-hmm. He died, though. And Barack was at his funeral, and Barack Obama said he's the nicest person that I've ever met in my entire life. Which, not that there's a lot of nice people in politics, but, like, you meet, like, the Pope, like, the Dalai Lama, and you're like, Art Rooney, nicest man I've ever met. So, as a Steelers fan, I'm like, everyone always talks about, like, it's weird that you root for the jerseys, like, coaches change, players change. I'm like, just as long as the Rooneys stay. The Rooneys are awesome.
How weird is it that there's only 32 NFL owners in the NFL? 2 of them are in the same family.
The Rooneys and the Maras. They're married. They're married family now.
And one of them is an actress, Kate Mara.
Mm-hmm. She married a Rooney, right? And that's how they got intertwined.
No, Kate Mara. I don't.
Or her parents married Rooney. I don't know, something like that.
I think it's actually an uncle.
Yeah, somehow they got intertwined. But I just, the good thing is there's like 3 or 4 Rooneys that are involved right now. I just want the same morals to consist.
In other news, what is it? Since we're already at like an hour and 2 minutes. What else I have? Oh, what are you watching? Anything?
Am I watching?
Watching anything good?
No.
No?
I can't think of anything.
I just watched Blackbird on Apple TV.
I haven't seen that one yet.
That was real good. That was real good.
Is that the horror movie? Or that's Black Phone, right?
Well, I haven't watched that. Yeah, the Black Phone's the horror.
That's the horror movie that's coming out. It's supposed to be good.
I watched The Gray Man on Netflix. That's just a boom movie. Like it's explosions. It's James Bond with another James Bond. I watched The Terminal List.
Oh, I watched Purple Hearts on Netflix.
I did not watch that.
Romance movie.
Big rom-com guy.
It was not com.
Just rom.
Just rom.
Softcore.
Rom. It's fine.
What else? I started watching Stranger Things.
Not my thing.
Season 1, pretty good. Season 2, kind of a letdown. Finished that about 2 a.m. Trying to finish charting because I've been working a lot. Season 2, it was real slow. I didn't like that 11 wasn't around much.
Oh.
But I hear season 4 is the best, then 3, then 1, then 2. So I'm thinking it's going to be upticking. I'm excited for that.
I watched Everywhere.
Oh, Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yes. Very good. Have you seen it yet?
No, I hear
Very
great
good.
things.
It's very good. It's one of those things like I had no idea what it was going into it. Really, didn't know what it was about halfway through it.
It's
Hardly.
got that weird time traveler, space traveler thing.
So good.
So it's one that you have to pay attention to a lot, I'm guessing.
You need to pay attention to it some. It's also comedy. It's good.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I have to just watch it without Nicole. If it has a story, she doesn't watch it. So like Game of Thrones, never got into it. Succession on HBO, I think is a phenomenal
Grey's
show.
Anatomy has a story.
But it's been on for 18 years. So like she watched it when she was younger. She would never pick it up now.
That's fair though, because for me, I mostly watch
Mind-numbing shit.
sitcoms and trashy reality TV, cartoon, like funny cartoons, because TV is my escape. Like, I'm not a true crime guy. I get enough true crime at work. I don't want to come home and look at more of it. Like, I will say, though, if true crime's on, like, if I'm at, like, a grandparent's house, they always have true crime on, it feels like, you can't look away when it's on. You're very much like, oh, my God, she killed her husband. Like, you're like that every time, obviously.
Snacks, yeah.
But, like, it's not something I pick because it's just, TV's my escape from that. So, like, I don't want to watch true crime. I want to watch stuff like that. Like every once in a while, like if there's a really good documentary, I'll watch it or whatever. I did watch that that documentary on the kid that like the Child Protective Services completely screwed over, and he was just Gabriel or whatever, and he was just like brutally abused for years and ended up being killed. I did watch that because of my job. Normally I wouldn't, but I was like, I literally do that. Let's see what these people did wrong. And it was very infuriating and upsetting to watch. But I guess I watched it just kind of like, I don't know. If there was like a documentary about like nursing that felt applicable, you'd probably be more likely to watch it even if it's not normally your thing, just because.
Well, I've watched ER, the series, several times. Grey's Anatomy, several times.
You know.
Resident, Scrubs. So like, yeah, I am kind of drawn towards it because it's my...
Yeah, normally I wouldn't. Like if it was fiction, I would watch fiction about my job. No, thank you. Like, but it was just a trending thing that was popular at the time, so it's like I'll watch it for work. It was like 4 hours of my time.
All right. Well, we're gonna prep. We're gonna do the seltzer taste test. So I have to pour everything into cups. I'll bring the cans out so you can see what we're trying, but they're gonna be blind because we're gonna pour them in the cups, mix up cups.
They'll be quasi-blind.
Yeah, because they're different flavors.
There'll be some pineapples.
Pineapples, some mangoes, black cherry, lemon lime. And that one Fort Myers one that's that's pineapple. So that's gonna blend in with we got Happy Dads. It'll be blind enough that we can at least taste.
We at least tell to quality. Like if you're like this flavor's not my thing, but like
it's good.
Yeah, I like the way it feels or whatever.
Like
the only flavor that I'd have a hard time to do that with would be like watermelon. Artificial watermelon makes you want to punch stuff. Like I don't enjoy it.
I think the older I get, the more I think it's a refreshing ass flavor.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna prep that up. Let me mark the time here. 108. So that way, if I want to just split it up into 2 episodes, we can. So, be right back. Oh, you guys would listen to quiet. I forgot to turn the damn phone on. Oh well, you survived. We're back. We're going. My family steals all my dry erase markers. We are taste testing. Sorry it took so long. Obviously, I did not intend it to be 18-minute setup, but it was. So, can you guys see? You can see it for the most part. 8 drinks. White Claw, mango. Bud Light, black cherry. Truly citrus punch. My wild card, Tommy Bahama Island Orange, which I just found randomly at the gas station. And Zach bringing to the table a local brew, spiked hard cider, which is, what is that, pineapple?
Hard cider. Hard seltzer.
Hard seltzer, Lo Siento, which is good because I don't like hard cider. Hardened cider. And then a peach Bellini. Who is it? 3 spike?
3 birds.
3 birds. 3 little
3
birds.
birds had a 4-pack on sale. It's a 12-pack for $6. It was a holiday punch, which would have been fine. Hot cocoa, no thank you. An eggnog flavor. And then a maple pancake. That's like, no, I can't do that.
That sounds tough to get down.
Like, ugh.
Sounds like a challenge. All right, let's see if we can get it so you can at least see the ones we're picking. They are swirled, so I don't know what they are. I will say 2 of them, one has a color to it. One looks like a diet ginger ale, and then the rest are fucking clear.
Yeah, it's like 6 Sprites. Shot of orange juice in this one.
And then, yeah.
And we poured this one with another one and got that.
Yeah, it's a... I was surprised at how clear all of them were as a general rule.
Yeah. And since they're all so clear, it's really weird this one's as orange as it is.
It's worrisome, yeah. Like, how can it be, 70,
There's any
75...
color at that color. There's no color added.
It's weird. So I guess we do it the same way. This, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
You can go first. You can visitor. So as we're going, we're not picking which one's which. We're just going to pick one we think is the best because we're going based on quality because there are different flavors. Okay.
Okay. It's good.
It's good. Yeah. It's easy to drink. It's good. I like that. I like that one a lot.
I mean, obviously, I'm pretty confident that's a high noon, but
I think so. It's got a different brightness to it. Yeah, I'm not gonna let that one go to waste. Tentatively, right now, my number 1 is number 1.
not a lot of flavor in this one. I don't know which one it is. Which is concerning. Like, I don't even know what flavor it is. Mango, maybe? I have no idea what that is.
Well, that first one had so much flavor, it made this one bland made. Had some sort of citrus from the smell.
Like, so was all of these.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they all are, right? Peach Bellini's own is not full on citrus.
My thought is that is Happy Dad because it's got electrolytes in it, so I think that one has a more muted flavor.
No, I didn't think this one had a strong flavor. That one had no flavor.
It's like a Zima. It needs a Lifesaver or a Jolly Rancher in it.
That's Sprite. That's just Sprite.
These are all just getting more and more diluted, huh?
No, not even diluted. It tastes like Sprite, which means
Oh.
it's probably the Happy Dad because it's probably lemon lime, right? Or it's the Surely Citrus Punch, but it just tastes like a Sprite.
It smells like a Sprite.
Yeah, I'm just like, for my notes when I'm writing down, I wrote down Sprite. Just when I'm trying to remember how to rank them.
So I'm tentatively right now.
You got 2's left.
I think that one's. What's two? It's last for now. We've only had 3. I didn't hate it though.
Also Sprite adjacent.
Sprite adjacent.
It's a 7-Up. What the heck? I'm surprised at how identical that one tasted to the last one we just tasted.
This one smells a lot more lemon limey. Okay.
Isn't that weird though? They taste pretty similar, those two.
It must have been an intriguing flavor.
I like it. It's different. It's like creamier than the others. I like it.
It's the one that tastes the least like alcohol thus far. This is 5.
I don't think we've had the mango one yet. Or the black. We definitely haven't had the black cherry.
That one's pretty refreshing.
Yeah, that was good.
It tastes like a good summer drink. I would put that one. I'd like that one on ice in like a turbis or a Yeti cup.
I think that's the Bud Light one. But I could be wrong. Ooh, this one smells amazing.
That one's 6.
By far the best smelling of them.
Oh,
It smells amazing. I don't know which one it is,
it's candy.
but it smells like that's an aggressive smell.
I would like that smell in a
I can't
room.
even smell this one now. After the last one. Wow, this would be hard.
You can't smell that?
Not in comparison to the last one.
I don't love that one. It actually, this one has kind of almost like an industrial smell. I don't get a fruit smell off this. I'm keeping that low. The scent is part of taste. I don't. Yeah, the smell of it is affecting the flavor for me a lot. In that number 8, 8 is 8 for me. I think 1 is still rocking 1. I should reset my palate with a chip or something, or drink some paint thinner. 1 second. Let me grab something to rinse the palate. And then one here I didn't add to it because it was the only one that was tequila based. So I thought it would give it away. Have you had those Plymar Black Cherry? Good talk. Talk to myself. Go fuck yourself.
Sorry. So
So you've had yours and you've had your
I have the
flavors.
bottom 5. I have 7, 1, and 5. I'm gonna see how I'm gonna rate those. That's good.
See, the mango one of that is delicious, and I think they discontinued it. The local gas station orders like kegs when you do parties. He said he'd get me mango if it was back, but it's been out of stock.
Okay. I'm ready. You put my list up there. 7, 1, 5, 3, 4, 6, 2, 8. I would have probably had 5 a little higher, but I still think I could drink more than one of them. As thick as it was.
Oh,
Alright, so 8th is definitely last. So we lose
yep.
this. 3 Birds, the peach Bellini.
3 birds. Right in front of the winners.
Alright, so 2 is definitely the next, last, because we both have it in 7th. Ah, spiked. That's unfortunate. It's not bad, it's just not anything.
I didn't like the smell.
It also has no carbs. So I don't know if that's correct.
Yeah. If you're trying to stay in, yeah, if you're looking at a
There's no carbs,
diet
no
perspective,
sugar. It's not gross by any means. It's kind of nothing. So it's 6 and 4 tied.
it just makes sense. 6b6.
Claw.
Wow.
Bingo. And then 4. Happy Dad.
Oh yeah.
And then
4th place.
it's gotta be the 3rd one.
You had him in 4th. I had him in 3rd.
Yeah. My 7's so high that's getting me now. Okay, so 4. Which one is it? 3.
Yeah.
This is the one that tastes just like Sprite. Tommy Bahama. What? Isn't that orange?
Mm-hmm.
But it smells just like Sprite. It tastes just like Sprite.
So this is a good one. This is a vodka with natural flavor added. 100 calories, 4 grams of sugar,
I thought it was lemon lime, but it was orange.
4 grams of carbs. Can't complain.
I didn't see that coming at all for that one, just because it tasted so much like Sprite.
I like to. I'm a fan.
I thought it was gonna be this one.
Oh, I knew that. I only knew it just because I've had the time, but like, I've never seen it in a cup, so I wasn't gonna judge based on that. But the smell, I knew it didn't smell that strong.
All right, so 3 is gonna be 5, right?
Yeah, average 2.5. So
Okay. It is basically a tie, and it is the truly citrus punch, which is so dark colored. I did like that one a lot, though. I will say. Like I said, I just thought I couldn't have a bunch of them because it was so creamy. And then 5 is next. What we just did 5.
2.5.
7 is next. This is my number 1. Your number 2. The Bud Light Seltzer. This is black cherry.
Bud Light coming in strong, man.
I'm surprised. I'm a Bud guy. I didn't know that.
Bud guy, yeah.
And High Noons.
High noon wins. This damn shaky table.
Why do I try to get fancy? Why don't I just get sponsored by Bud and move on with my life? I don't even know why I get fancy. So Bud Light wins for me last week, and I was shocked. Bud Light Seltzer wins this week for me. I guess I'm just a Bud guy. I didn't know that about myself. I will say, though, I didn't dislike any of them.
Yeah, unlike beer, where it's just like,
And I would like a mix. Like I wouldn't want to do the same flavor, the same one every single time.
that is the huge benefit. Like, there's so many variety packs out there.
I'm still stunned by the fact that I had Bud Light Seltzer number 1. I'm surprised. I will say I'm also surprised at how little I knew the flavors.
You know, you see it on the can. Like, oh, yeah, I get that. Tastes right.
Like I thought this mango was black cherry. I thought that the orange was lemon lime.
But, Spike didn't score well. But as far as choices go, you're supporting local business. It's 0 carbs, 0 sugar.
And the knock on it was that it had less flavor than the rest of them.
But that's the carbs.
That's the carbs. And if you weren't, and it'd be very interesting to see if you just drank one. I'll have to get back to you next week. If you just drink one, having not tried the others, like, because I tried the high noon, went straight to that one right after. So, like,
That's not
if I was just drinking that and drinking that only, I might not notice the differences starkly.
Congrats to the Tommy Bahama. Like, that's a pretty dark horse,
It is
to
interesting.
finish in the upper half.
It is interesting. The top 3 though are 3 heavy hitters as far as like national favorites.
High Noon's a cult following because a lot of people don't. It's probably because it's so much more expensive.
Yeah, it's the vodka one.
So so it's Tommy Bahama.
Is it?
If you're on a budget, you're probably not picking most of these, except the Bud Seltzer. I think that's
Yeah,
actually,
just drink Bud Seltzer. Just drink Bud everything.
I think
just
that's-
don't even look at other beers. You know what I will say? I had a Bud Lime for the first time at Disney World. Because I was just kind of feeling limey. I did.
the older I get, the more lime appeals.
Yeah, Bethany got a Corona, and I was like, I don't know if I want to go through that work. I got the Bud Lime. I liked it better than Corona. I'm just Bud Light, man. Bud Lime, Bud Light, Budweiser. Budweiser was always my favorite full beer of the classics.
Does that make you really question like your whole identity?
I didn't think that I was someone who. I just find it very interesting that blindly I've picked Bud twice, and I'm not a Bud guy. It's not like I wanted to be clear. I'm not coming in here like I know what Bud tastes like. I like Bud. I didn't feel any type of way about Bud, one way or the other. I really kind of only drank it at college parties.
Yeah, I actually I had a negative opinion overall of Bud Light. Just like, God, it's a trash beer.
I assumed it was bad, but like I said,
The way it outscored Michelob.
it keeps winning for me. I don't know what's going on. And last week we both were like Bud Light was the best. Like it was the best, and it was like easily the best.
I knew I liked their seltzers because they were on the game fairly quickly.
It's not too surprising, is it? I mean, they have the money to do it correctly.
Yeah, if you're a $100 billion company or something, like,
They have the money to do it.
White Claw's the OG of the game. It reset the market, which is funny. Like, seltzers are such a huge market, but like, this shit was out in the 90s. Zima, malt beverage, the Bacardi Silvers.
I don't like malt. I'm excited about
I do like that they add
the
soda
Mountain
water.
Dew coming back to the seltzer. So that article you sent me about Mountain Dew hard soda going to do a seltzer instead.
What's the one that we had? The shitty one.
The small beverage.
Oh, okay.
I'm very interested to try it. I just don't like malt. So like there was no chance I was going to like that really.
It really gives me a gut rot thing. Like it hits me in the belly hard.
It just tastes, I don't know, not good. Cheap. Kind of hurts.
And, malt. It's all my mom drinks. Like she drinks Mike's Hard.
I'm a little upset that I had Budweiser. Only because I knew one was High Noon, and I was like, I don't know though. I really like 7.
You're a Bud Light guy.
Ugh. Tis what it is.
Truly was the number 5.
Maybe I'm not. You always accuse me of being cheap. Maybe I'm not cheap. Maybe I'm just a man of little taste. We'll do like an Oreo one or something, and I'm gonna pick like the cheapest off-brand garbage. I'm like, y'all know these are the best.
Now, Truly did score high with us,
Yep.
but the thing is,
It was good.
if you're
It was
only
really
drinking
good.
one, it's delicious. I am concerned
That's why I put it third.
that it wouldn't be good if you had a handful of them.
The good thing is it did come in a 12-pack of 4 different flavors, so you might be okay if you're rotating.
Well, damn. Only 3 grams of carbs. Okay, I thought it with as much flavor
It's
that's
very
in it.
creamy too. Like it tastes thicker than the rest of them.
Yeah. This one goes on ice. The other ones are straight to me.
It was really good though.
It is packed with flavor. I worry that it would give me gut rot because of the flavor. There's got to be some sort of acidity.
I could drink a 12-pack of these.
Spiked?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, especially when there's no carbs in it. If you're keto,
Well, there wasn't like a lot of flavor. Like if you're drinking outside on a boat or like in the pool or something, and you're just drinking them if you're just drinking to get drunk, like you're drinking to drink, and you're not really just drinking to savor a flavor, you're not gonna get an upset stomach from that one though. You know, like sometimes you're drinking seltzers and they get too sweet after a while. That's not getting too sweet ever. No carbs, also, yeah.
the mango one.
I'm about to say, like with that one having little flavor, like your stomach's not gonna ache from drinking that. You can just drink that all night.
It's true. Yeah.
Like if you're just drinking, like
It's very neutral.
if you're drinking to party, I think I would like that one a lot because I think it would be refreshing in the sun because it was more watery.
Yeah, I'm agree with you on that. There's no offensive flavor in it.
Yeah, it just kind of depends on what you're looking for. Because like I think that 5 was like one of the best flavors, but the Truly. But like I said, I think that I don't know if I could drink like one after the other. To where that one I could probably drink more of those than the other ones.
That's kind of why I like Happy Dad. It's not an offensive one.
And it was also one of the more muted ones. That makes it interesting. To our last time we did light beers, they were all the exact same thing, just different flavors, kind of like, but they're the same attempted flavor.
That's why
So I said these are harder because they're serving different purposes.
our generations are so different. Like,
'Cause this one is maybe the most refreshing of them, and that one is also really refreshing. Both lighter flavors.
as I get older, me and my cousin are such polar opposites. My cousin Robbie, we had a discussion about beers. He's a big rig driver. He came down, and he ordered. When we went up there, we went up to Wisconsin. We had a little Mactown bar, and he's getting Coors Light, and I'm like, "Oh, what do you guys got?" And I'm trying drinks, and I think we had a mixed drink, and I was like, "You drink Coors Light, okay? Well, what do you think about this?" I don't know. I drink Coors Light. You try anything else? No, I like Coors Light. Like, oh, because you drink Coors Light. He's like, I drink Coors Light. That's it.
My dad's going to do it. He's been a big Coors guy for years, like literally 6 or 7 years. He only buys Coors when he's not buying something for fun. Like he's not buying whiskeys or he's not buying like seltzers or whatever. He's not buying like fun cocktail drinks. If he's buying a light beer, he buys Coors every single time. He's gonna do the blind taste test. It's gonna be very interesting to see if he gets Coors.
We should do him. We should do him and my cousin Robbie when he comes down next time. He's like, hey.
Because Dad said he wants me to set it up for him when he's back. He said I will. He goes, I'm curious. I'd be curious to see if I even know which one Coors is. Because he doesn't drink the others, so he might not even know. But
Might turn out he's like, I'm not a Coors guy.
yeah,
I don't care about the Rockies.
can't wait till he's Bud too. I'm like Bud for life, man. Post is onto something. I can't. I don't know.
I don't know. I kept my favorite beer out of it. My favorite standard beer, this Michelob Ultra Gold. When I'm at a bar, I will order a beer on tap. because a tap beer is nothing like a canned beer.
It's like a fountain soda is better than a regular soda.
So
Quick ranking though for you. For me, it's fountain, can, glass bottle, plastic bottle, 2 liter. And that's pretty easy listing for me. There's like no hesitation.
well, what pops are you drinking in the glass bottle?
I've had pop on a bottle. I've had root beer in a glass bottle. I've had Coke, regular Coke in a glass bottle.
Fountain, glass bottle.
See, I got into where I prefer a can than a glass bottle for soda.
Can, because it gets so much colder than a regular bottle.
That might be why I like it more than the glass bottle even.
But you get the truest taste with a glass bottle.
That might be true, but
So
all
then
I'm after.
Can, and then plastic bottle, and then 2 liter. But
2 liters last.
the reason I enjoy a 2 liter is because
There's more.
I put like 3 ice cubes in my Yeti, and I load it with my Pepsi Zero, and it stays ice cold. And I'm because I'm driving around, and my car's hot all day. By the time the car gets cold again from the AC, I got to go into the patient's house. I get back out. It's fucking hot again. Black leather seats. Bam, nice cold sip. Nothing else is gonna last
Yeah.
than what I pour into my 2 liter.
I will say, so I was a Coke Zero guy, and then they changed their recipe. And I said, we're doing it different. Now, I like
How long has Coke Zero been around?
a while.
How did they change it compared to like Diet Coke?
I don't know. I'm sure it's the same as Pepsi and Pepsi Max. I'm sure it's just a different sweetener. But I liked Coke Zero and I preferred Pepsi Zero and I like Dr. Pepper Zero a lot. And then Coke Zero was changing their flavor.
I like Dr. Pepper 10.
And I was like, I don't know. Like, they're changing their flavor. I don't know how I feel about this. New Coke Zero, incredible. It's life. It's Bay. It's the only thing that matters on this planet. It's
What color's the label?
so much better. The original was a black
Yep. I
Coke
know that.
can. Now it's you have some here. Probably mine.
Oh,
It's the red one with the black lettering.
that's not bad.
It's so good. It's so much better than the other. Than they redid. They redid it like I said. I was like, I don't know. And I was like, yep, good call, Coke.
I'm a Pepsi Zero guy.
I have Zero also.
Pepsi Max. I still call it Pepsi Max. Sticker kit. It's free.
All right. Well, next week we'll have a different thing, maybe food based. I don't know.
Try to celebrate your birthday.
Unless we don't think it through. Do water again. Do water. We gotta do water at some point.
Yeah, I got plenty. Essentia,
Well,
Liquid
you
Death.
can do Dasani, Aquafina.
I hope I don't fuck that one up. Because like as a general rule, like, when I see it and I drink it, I can't stand Dasani.
Yeah, Dasani's pretty hated, which is wild because Coke makes it. You wouldn't think it'd be so bad.
Well, you know what? Nestle makes Zephyr Hills water too, and Nestle's one of the most evil one of the most evil companies on the planet, and I love Zephyr Hills water. I had water delivery from Zephyr Hills since before me and Nicole were together, so I had it for 6.5 years. And then they upped the price 3 consecutive months, so I put it on pause. And I was like, I've had this, the mount where the dispenser, the water dispenser. I was like, it's got to be paid off by now because it's like $10 a month for it. And it turns out, no, it's a rental. It's always a rental. Never. I said, I canceled it. I was like, and I went to, no, I didn't cancel it. I went to reactivate it because Nicole's like, we need more water. And I don't want to get bottles of water every time. Save the environment. Went to reactivate my account, and it turned out Zephyr Hills no longer delivered to my address. The furthest they get is to the Publix on the corner. Like, sorry, we can't drop it off. We can't arrange delivery, but we don't go past that Publix. Okay, then cancel my account. Well, we're gonna need a cancellation fee, and we have to pick up your dispenser. Like, okay, I should have owned the dispenser by now. I've had it for almost 7 years. Then they didn't show up and get the dispenser, and then they charged me $150 for the dispenser, which is like a new price for it. So I called and complained. I was like, I'm not paying you this. Well, we're gonna have to send you collections. Come and get it. The guy didn't show up. It was sitting in the front door. Like, okay, we'll reschedule it, but it's still gonna be $50 for a cancellation. Sons of bitches. And they showed up and they took it. And then I looked into it, and Nestle's one of those evil corporations on the planet. So I'm out on Zephyr Hills, but it's like my favorite water. I love spring water. If I can get it.
Even though it wouldn't be blind, it would be fun to do a fast food burger at some point. We could be doing this every week.
It is hard because we do this show at nights.
Yeah.
Everything closes in Inglewood at 9.
That's
10.
true. You don't want something too cold. You know
It's
what?
gonna
This is a
be-
McDonald's burger from 6 hours ago. Thoughts.
And they all will be. And then like one of my favorite fast food places is Arby's, and they don't make a burger.
They do now.
It's out. The Wagyu burger, it's gone.
I was like, the reviews were not glowing.
Weren't they?
The reviews were gummy and chewy.
Well, they don't have. Yeah, there's. they don't
That's
have
not good compliments. That's not what you want to hear.
It's not how I like my steak burgers.
Yeah.
And you've had Culver's?
Culver's is great.
Okay. So I don't want to blow your mind here, but Culver's is probably gonna win that one.
Culver's is great. Unless you like again,
We're gonna reheat
what's the
test it.
price? What's the price line cutoff? Like, because like Five Guys, everyone's like, oh, it's the best fast food burger. I'm like, it's also like $12. So, like,
I've had
I don't know. It's
Five Guys gives me diarrhea.
It's plenty of money, but it's good. But like, all right, well,
I do love a Five Guys burger, but like, I'm gonna have to go to the bathroom.
yeah. All right, well, it's been real. Next week we'll have something else. Who knows what it'll be?
It's been real. It's been fun. I can't say it's been real fun.
Yes.
I just opened up my new water bottle. Computer components. Linus Tech Tips.
Nice.
It's pretty cool.
All righty.
I just wondered what it wasn't black. All of my water bottles are black. I wonder what not black. All right, so yeah, next week we'll do something
Something.
to your birthday next week. You're gonna be 19, 20.
19. Yeah.
Sorry for violating you.
Now I'll be 28. 4 touchdowns.
There'll be 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals here. Golly, old. All right, y'all sons of bitches. Another great time. I think this was a pretty good one.
Mm-hmm.
I was ready for the relaxation of getting to do this instead of charting. I've been charting until after 2 o'clock, or after 1 o'clock at least every day this week. So this was nice. So next week we'll be able to discuss our favorite teams. First preseason game. And hopefully the Bears don't have more injuries and we don't suck. I don't know. We'll get there. Hope y'all take it easy. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you and good night. And that's the...
Thanks for listening to the On Call Podcast. Check us out on Twitter at OnCallPod. Interested in being a sponsor or want to be on the show? Drop us an email at oncallpod@gmail.com. For more info, go to oncallpod.com.